I'm going to start this video off with this statement. The cost of chasing survival is the price of your creative success. And what that means is basically, if you're stuck in survival mode, there's a high possibility you're never going to reach where it is that you're trying to go. And this isn't me saying it from some high horse position or anything like that. This is me talking to myself. I'm just talking in third person. For those that don't know, these videos are being made in aid of me documenting the process of quote unquote saving my studio. But if we want to use more positive language, it's to document the process of building and growing my studio. And the first video that I made, I was in a very vulnerable, stressful position where I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep it. Being the fact that it's now the end of April, there's obviously been some good things that have happened because the studio is still here, but it doesn't mean I'm out of the mode that I've been in. Basically, I've been in survival mode because I've continuously been a slave to money. Off the back of the success of March and how everything kind of played out, as well as posting the first YouTube video as well. Not that it got mad numbers, but just the positive feedback that I got, yeah. Like, I was not riding off a high, but I was riding off the residuals of the work that I had been put in over that period of time. So we started off April with having 2 studio bookings. One was on the Friday and the other was on the Sunday. So that was sick. Came in here, rigged up their cameras, looked like a full production. I truthfully believe for you to get the biggest amount of value from the space, 1, you should be booking it for no less than 3 hours. And 2, if you are trying to do something that, you know, is going to move the needle or have some sort of like creative difference, you're going to need it for a little bit longer, because if you are looking to try and rig out a set or do some stuff, you're going to need space at the beginning of the shoot and at the end of the shoot, so you've got time to de-rig. And yeah, man, that's how the month started out. I was still being active with posting on the stories daily, posting stuff on the Instagram feed, and just continuing with my my daily accountability videos, which is setting the tone with CS daily. So every day, at the end of the day, I come to the studio, I make a video, I talk about how the day's gone, discuss what's gone well, discuss what hasn't gone so well, and I was being consistent in putting them out. And that essentially was week 1. So week 1 was blessed. Week 2 now is when it really started to kind of like fall apart. And that's because during week 1, I was in the process of starting the editing process for a Hyphenate project that I've been working on with my brethren J2K. We've created this content series called Step in My Shoes, where we speak to creative individuals, business owners, artists, who all fall under the category of being considered multi-hyphenates. And they sit down, they talk to camera, they share their story. And even though these are short Instagram videos, it takes a hell of a lot of like energy and heavy lifting to get them done. December, the Bashi episode came out. February, Jack Cannon episode came out. And in April, the Kailu episode came out. And because I knew that that was coming up in week 2, I started to feel overwhelmed with me trying to balance everything. And even with these accountability videos, I use ChatGPT to rate my day. And it said itself, I can see that you are heading for burnout. Focus on the task, get it out the way, and then get back to the original schedule. And while it's not wrong, the problem is you gotta learn how to spin plates, you gotta learn how to balance. And this is where the part of the story kind of starts to unravel, and where I can now clearly see how this survival mode state of mind equates to being a slave to money, and being a slave to money rules how you conduct yourself. So yeah, in a nutshell, to just round up week 2, what's basically happened is the daily videos, they kind of just teared off towards like the middle of the week. I stopped doing them, not being consistent with the thing that I had made a non-negotiable. The momentum stopped. But the positive thing is I got the job done. And to end off week 2, my girl's taking me to London for a surprise. And she's taking me to a concert, a jazz concert, a great way to finish off the week and then get back to work on Monday. And what I didn't realize about week 3 is that that was the start of the Easter holidays. My time is even more limited because I'm running around. I gotta take my youth, play scheme, or I gotta pick him up, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. It means that the momentum fell even more. So what I was anticipating was I take 1 week off and get back to it straight away. That week ended up being 2 weeks. And that's just where I feel like it was just complete shutdown. And in that week now, the real realization is that being a slave to money, my brethren shouted me and says, yo, Central C's coming to my shop. So my brethren owns a resale shop in Brum called The Pawn Shop. And he's like, yo, Central C's meant to be coming to the shop. I need you on standby, bro. Like, I need to get this content. I ain't got no issues with that because me and Cam, we've been working together for years. And whenever he's got videos that need doing, predominantly I'm the guy that he always shouts. So when he's told me Central C's coming, I'm like, all right, safe. Obviously, it's a big opportunity for the shop. It's not too bad of an opportunity for me to shoot Central C because he's one of the biggest artists in the world. So I'm like, all right, safe, I'll be around. But what happened with that scenario is that he was meant to come to the store on the Thursday evening. So I've left the podcast early to go meet Cam at the store, waiting for the arrival of Central C. He arrived, but he didn't film. They said that they was going to return to the shop the following day in the morning. So I'm like, safe, that's cool. We'll film in the morning, get it done, I'll go about my business. That morning ended up becoming the whole day, and we had to then go to the show, and the filming didn't take place until 7 p.m. But throughout that whole day, I'm just waiting around, waiting for the call, figuring out what's happening. I'm out of the house all day, and it was at that moment where I'm like, raw, like, I'm here for the opportunity, but I'm here because I actually need the money as well. It just didn't 100% sit right with me because I know that there's other things that I need to be doing, which is working on the studio, being intentional with my time, keeping the momentum going and keep building. But what drove this home the most is that after we had finished filming, we got the content, put out the edit or whatever, my girl spoke to me and she was just saying, yo, this is some dickhead shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you've got a goal, you've built momentum, and then you just let the pot just boil over and you just going around in a circle, like, fix up, because it's a dickhead thing. So I've had to sit back and really internalize what she said. And I'm like, you know what? She's right. She's 100% right. So going into week 4 now, it's just been laser focused and locked back in. So all of the shenanigans and the stuff that I was doing before in terms of like turning up, doing my daily videos, posting daily, creating content, all of that stuff has reignited. On the beginning of that week was go, get the furniture, bring it in here, clear out the studio, reset it. And as soon as I started doing that, just being more intentional with my thoughts, more intentional with my time, more consistent with the posting, the inquiries started coming back in. And it's just like I've figured it out. Like, this is what I do. I get the pot bubbling and then I leave the pot because I need to go and get some cash to keep my life in check and in order. And by the time I get back to the pot's bubbled over, the flame's gone out, the food's done out and dead. And I have to start all the way from the beginning again. And it's never really the beginning because obviously the groundwork that you put in is never lost. But it's the heavy lifting that it takes to start again is what feels like you're starting again from the beginning. But because I've been doing the daily videos and I had those to refer back to and to look at the progression and to look at what's gone well and what's gone wrong, it was very easy to catch myself and put myself back in that mode. And like I said, it's made me realize like I'm a slave to the money. So just moving forward now, it's not only being intentional with the time, but it's being very intentional and focused on how I'm going to create a system that is going to give me the money that I need. And the money that I need, I don't want it to come from other places. I don't want it to come from just random freelance work. I want it to come from things that are aligned with the overall end goal. Meaning, I would love it to come from studio bookings or from work that is situated around the studio. So that it means that when the time is spent, the time is going towards the overall thing that I'm trying to do. With the other freelance work and that, I don't not want to do those things. I still want to do them. But rather than taking the full budget that they're going to pay me to do it, I'd rather take half of that and just pay somebody else to do the heavy lifting on that job. I don't know who these people are. I don't know the editors. I have to find them. But that's how I want to structure everything so that I am protecting my time and I'm using it in the best way possible to help build and grow the thing that I'm most passionate about, and that's this studio space. So yeah, man, that's basically how this month has played out. So yeah, you can see I'm very much still in survival mode. But what I would say is this: the clarity is a lot clearer, and there are things that actually are being put in position. So the intern, my guy Zane, he's going to be starting beginning of May, and I'm going to utilize his time to help with creating pitch decks so that I can be pitching to different clients and different brands to get them in here. I'm going to find other ways to utilize his skills within graphic design and InDesign and stuff like that. Along with that, Tegan, she was brought in the middle of March, I think, and I've created a structure for her to follow so that she can edit the testimonials. And even during this period of where I kind of fell off for the last 2 weeks, it's the content that she's edited that's kind of still kept me afloat and kept some level of visibility. And people will be none of the wiser that it wasn't me that edited. It was a young girl. I don't want to say a young girl, but it was a girl that doesn't have a great deal of editing experience, but due to the structure that I've built and the guidance that I've given her, she's been able to emulate what I would do for myself. So that's definitely a step in the right direction, man. And yeah, like, there's no walking away from the pot. There's no allowing the flame to go out. That is the number one thing that I have continuously done and never realized it. And I've realized it now. And we're not going to let that happen no more, man. So if you feel like you're in a similar position to me, then hopefully you got something from this video in it. That is my second ever YouTube video. And yeah, man's just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll figure this out in it. But thanks for watching. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe and all that other stuff, you get me?